Copper. Is copper going to crash with the stock market after the hawkish Fed speech at Jackson Hole? Let's look at copper with the copper cycles in mind. Welcome to My Finance Teacher, where we regularly discuss commodities such as copper, stock market, cryptos, and precious metals. Among recent trades, we had some profits with natural gas trade and the stock market in SPY and triple Qs, where we actually exited pretty close to the recent tops. As you might know, I like looking at price cycles and looking at copper history. At every cycle top, the price breaks or tests the 50-day moving average, and RSI breaks above neutral and rises by at least 20 points from the level corresponding to the cycle low. Conversely, at every cycle low, price breaks below or tests the 50 MA, and RSI breaks below neutral and falls by at least 20 points. An average cycle duration since the mid-2017 is around half a year. Zooming in, copper cycles have been tricky this summer. Looking at the May low, one might argue that a new cycle started as the price broke above the 50-day moving average. However, I'm inclined to count the July low as the end of the previous cycle, with the cycle lasting longer than usual. After all, the break above the 50 DMA in May didn't last at all, and a long cycle of 212 days is very likely after two short cycles lasting for only 140 and 118 days. A longer cycle after a couple of shorter ones would maintain the average cycle duration. A cycle low in July rather than a cycle low in May implies that the ongoing cycle is 1.5 months old rather than 3.5 months old. And with average cycle duration of half a year, I think there is still some potential for modest gains within the current cycle. Talking about the very short term, in the next few days I still expect copper to perhaps slide down together with the general stock market, but within the next few days, possibly even this week, once the stock market starts a new short-term daily cycle, copper will continue rising. But as I mentioned, I don't think that we'll see any substantial price appreciation. Perhaps a test of this round number of $4 is likely, and in fact this price range between $3.9 and $4 has served as support resistance zone several times since early 2001. But by the time copper rises towards that $4 level, the cycle will already be around 3 months old or so. That is close enough to the midpoint on the average duration, raising the risk of a drop down into the cycle low, especially with a pretty negative long-term macroeconomic outlook right now. Looking at Copper Optimism Index, historical cycle lows take place when the optics is below 30. That's on the bottom left side of your screen. But in 2020 and 2021, as money supply increased rapidly with trillions and trillions of dollars being printed, cycle lows in copper came with optics somewhere around 50 rather than below 30. And currently in the tightening environment, a cycle low with the optics just under 30, that's in July, is quite likely. Optics has already increased and poked above 40, and again, in the current hawkish environment, perhaps optics around 50 might actually indicate that a bit of a caution is advised. So we'll likely still have some momentum higher, but taking quick profits might actually be a good idea. Seasonality agrees with a bit of a rally soon, and later on a bit of a correction down into late September as well as late October. That late October correction, by the way, would come close to an average cycle duration, which makes anything beyond mid-October that much more risky. So that's my view on copper. I hope you found this video interesting, and in return, let me know if you think it's a good idea to try to catch copper down here as it's correcting over the next few days, and if you're gonna try to do that, what would be your vehicle of choice for copper? Good luck, have a nice day, bye bye.